gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now,
What's up? What's up, everybody? It's time for the main event of the evening. I'm Jose Contreras, and right alongside me is my brother Enrique Contreras, and we are back for another episode of the main event podcast brought to you by Star Six Media. You guys can follow Star Six Media on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. You can follow us on Twitter at _Star Six Media. This is where we talk about all types of sports, not just what you see here in MMA, boxing, and wrestling. We also go into NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, soccer, you name it, all here on Star Six Media. Alongside my brother Ricky Contreras, I'm Jose Contreras. Ricky, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man? Good to see you. And I'm ready for the show.
Yeah, we're here, man. We ready. We here. We ready.
We ready.
All right. What a show we have for you guys today. As always, we're going to get into some wrestling news and rumors going around both WWE and AEW. Our co-main event of the evening is King Canelo. He's boxing this Saturday against John Ryder in a boxing fight. Ricky, should be a good one. And of course, the main event, UFC 288. Aljamain Sterling defending his championship against the uncrowned champ. I mean, it was the former champ.
Right.
Henry Cejudo, who retired and kind of vacated that title, never lost it, so he's going back for his belt. So definitely a good show for sure. And yeah, let's get to it. We can start with WWE. The draft just happened. It just concluded yesterday night on Raw. Started Friday on SmackDown. And I want to get your thoughts, Ricky, before we get started. What was your thoughts of the draft overall?
I mean, honestly, to me, it was pretty disappointing. Well, not disappointing, but sort of like a letdown a little bit, because there was nothing pretty exciting about it. Everything that pretty much was predicted was predicted. It happened. Everything that I thought was going to happen happened. And,
Yeah.
you know, only time will tell to see if WWE actually is really serious about doing the draft this time, is going to stick to it. But as history has showed, within the past, 10 years, 10, 15 years, they have not, have taken this draft seriously. Sooner or later, guys end up appearing on the other show anyway for storyline purposes or whatever.
Right.
So, not that exciting for me, but we'll see where they take this. Hopefully, they stick with it.
It's usually like around SummerSlam, maybe even Survivor Series. Definitely around Royal Rumble, WrestleMania is when you start to see things get chaotic and guys go wherever they need to go. But like you said, for storyline purposes, I agree with you. It always starts off hot where you just have these two main brands, and then it just, like you said, it just kind of goes haywire. I think the main reason for the draft and for this draft alone, it makes sense because of Roman Reigns. Doesn't seem like they're taking the belts off this guy anytime soon.
Right.
And with that being said, you have plenty of champion caliber superstars on the roster that's just there in his shadow, and you got to do something with them. You got to keep them relevant. You got to keep them happy. And so you do that by what? Splitting the brand. You keep your I guess your other top stars right on Raw, and you've seen that they did that with Finn Balor. They did that with Seth Rollins. They did that with Cody Rhodes. They put Gunther over there. You have plenty of talent over there that you feel can carry the brand if you need them to. With that being said, were you excited for certain superstars being on certain brands or seeing certain superstars back? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, if anything, if there's anything I'm looking forward to, is this tournament that they're gonna have for the world's heavyweight title that they just introduced again.
Yeah.
I'm interested in seeing who's gonna participate in the tournament and who's actually gonna end up winning. That's probably the most that I'm looking forward to as far as this brand. And another thing that casts a lot of doubt that they're gonna take the serious is because they said that both Raw and SmackDown superstars are eligible for this tournament.
Wait,
For
really?
this for this Raw specific tournament. Yeah, they clearly said that. They have clearly said that. So already right there, man, it's already a red flag that it's that they eventually there's gonna be some guys going to the other brand or whatnot. But
How did I miss that already? What?
yeah,
So
but
okay, that is interesting. You say that because I feel like they started something with Solo Sikoa and Seth Rollins on purpose this past Monday night. For those who didn't see Raw, they had Paul Heyman come out, cut a promo about Roman Reigns and how Roman Reigns, maybe looking at this new title to add to his collection.
right,
And then he started, calling out Seth Rollins, who called out Roman Reigns the week prior. What happens? Seth Rollins comes out, shoots another promo, and then here comes Solo, and then they schedule a match for the night. Nobody won that match because it was interfered by the Usos. So of course you want to protect both guys. I get it 100%.
right.
But does that mean maybe you see Solo Sikoa in the tournament, if not Roman Reigns? Do you think that's possible?
You know what? I wouldn't put it past these people to do that. Let's say Solo Sikoa is in the tournament. He wins the world heavyweight title. And then he goes to Roman and surrenders the title and hands it to him. And boom, you got the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, holding 3 belts, which is I'm sure a nightmare for a lot of fans that are tired of this run that he's on and they just want to see a new champion. But I wouldn't put it past these people to do it, man.
What's the point of
Honestly.
that? Then? If that's the case, what's the point of that? You should have just kept both titles, and you know what I mean. Like, what's the point of giving? I don't think it's gonna happen. Because
No,
if that's
I
the
don't
case,
think
it's like,
I don't think so. I don't think so. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't put it past them to do something dumb like that.
oh man, I hope not. I'd be mad. I stopped watching for a bit if that happens. Honestly, it makes no sense.
But more than likely, but that's just me trolling. That's just me trolling.
Right.
I believe somebody. I believe somebody's gonna get it though. So, somebody, whether it's Cody, Seth, even Gunther, it could be one of those guys.
Yeah, 100%. Ricky, based off the picks, who has a better show? Who are you? What show are you more excited to watch? Based off the superstars that are there, is it Raw or SmackDown?
Well, I've always been a SmackDown guy. I enjoy that show a lot more than Raw. I still can't sit through an entire 3-hour show Monday Night Raw. So I would say I'm actually excited for SmackDown. You got the LWO over there. You got, Roman Reigns is still on that show. Brock Lesnar can go anywhere he wants, so he can show up at any show, whatever he wants. Most likely he's going to be on Raw though. But who else? Austin Theory's over there, and the Bloodline's still over there. So we'll see what's going on in SmackDown. But I'm more excited for SmackDown.
Our boy CP in the comments.
Bianca. I forgot Bianca Belair. So I'm excited for her being there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bianca Belair is money. CP goes on and says, if they do something as idiotic as giving Roman that third title, I would absolutely never watch WWE. I agree, man. He says SmackDown definitely has the better roster. I'm excited for Rollins and Rose, Mickey Rollins. I want to say Raw has the better roster. I want to say Raw has a better roster. I think they kind of have to do that because if you're gonna have someone who draws a lot of attention like Roman Reigns on SmackDown, you kind of have to, stack the roster on Raw. And I think you do that with Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins, Gunther, Finn Balor's still there. Who else? They have a plethora of talent. You still have Damian Priest, you still have Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley's still there. Alexa Bliss is supposed to come back. Who else is there? I think Raw does have a really good roster. I want to say they have the better one, but you guys are right. SmackDown with the Bloodline still being there, with the return of AJ Styles and the Good Brothers.
Styles, yep.
Bobby
Lashley's over there.
Bobby Lashley's over there.
We'll see a lot of fresh matchups too on both shows.
Yeah. You also Bianca Belair. You also have Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair. They can finally have a feud that's worth watching over there too, for sure.
I don't think that will happen until WrestleMania, but yeah, that's definitely going to happen.
Oh yeah,
Charlotte's gone away for a little bit, but when she comes back, you already know they're going to give her that immediate title shot.
Oh yeah,
she doesn't have to do anything. She doesn't have to do anything.
Right. That being said, who do you think will thrive out of the guys we just mentioned? If not, there's anybody else, Ricky, on SmackDown, on Raw. Who do you think is primed for a push here?
Anybody that's not on the same show as Roman Reigns is going to thrive and is going to get pushed to the top. So
I don't know. I think you get a push at LA Knight. He's on SmackDown.
Yeah, but no. He's on Raw, isn't he?
No, he's on SmackDown.
He's a SmackDown.
Yeah, they kept him on SmackDown.
Oh, that sucks. I would have I would have rather him gone to Monday Night Raw to get pushed up there. Maybe even well, he could still be in that tournament. In that, since both shows are eligible.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think he's gonna win it, but there's a glimmer of hope right there. If he could, he can go over the Raw. But I would say maybe Gunther is probably on high on my list
Me
to
too.
get pushed to the top on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, you haven't been seeing a lot of him because he just got married. So, he's been taking some time off from WWE, doing his own thing, getting his personal life in order. So he just got married. Congratulations to him and his wife. But I think now that that's done with, you know what I mean? You're going to start seeing a lot more Gunther, and the Intercontinental Championship is going to be legit with him spending it. They have Drew McIntyre. He did get drafted to Raw. So that tells me he's more likely going to re-sign if he didn't already. And you'll start seeing him a lot more often too. So
yeah. I mean, I think right now he's out with an injury, but as soon as that's done, we'll see a lot of him and hopefully see a lot more matches between him and Gunther. I mean especially the one that kind of they had at WrestleMania, anything like that, that'll be great.
Yeah, 100%. Ricky, you mentioned the LWO earlier. They've been one of the top sellers in merchandising as of late. With that being said, man, it's great to see, right? The LWO was definitely a popular faction in WCW. Now that they brought it back, I think it's great for marketing purposes, for merchandising purposes. But the guys can't catch a break. They have been on a losing streak, and they're over with the fans. I'm shocked that WWE just continue to bury these guys over and over. Damian Priest has pinned, what's his name? Why can't I think of his name? The leader of the group. What's his name? It's not Mysterio.
Not Mysterio.
Not Mysterio. He pinned Mysterio this Monday Night Raw, but he's pinned every single one of them these last 3 weeks, and I get it. You want to put Damian Priest over, but come on.
Yeah, I think it's now time for these guys to start winning matches. Especially now that they're the top merchandise seller in the company.
Why can't
is it
I got you. Go ahead. I'll look it up. Go ahead.
But it's time to give these guys some wins. When they're the top merchandise sellers in the company, you want to continue the sales to be strong, and fans, especially the kids, they like to buy merchandise of winners, and that's what drives up sales. Here's another thing that that's interesting about the LWO being the top merch sellers too. I remember reading Eddie Guerrero's book. All right.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying in there that when he was in WCW and he started the LWO, he was the leader of the group. He tried to get Eric Bischoff to try to sell merchandise for the LWO, and they didn't want to do it. As dumb as that sounds, Eric Bischoff did not want to sell merchandise for the LWO. He was only just interested in NWO merchandise and I think Bill Goldberg merchandise, and that was it.
Yeah,
or some of those guys. He was only interested in selling the top guys. I think Diamond Dallas Page was another one. Goldberg, Sting, and the NWO. That was it. But anyone in the undercard, he was not interested in selling merch. So imagine the kind of money that he probably could have made back then with the LWO merch. And it's just interesting, and it's actually refreshing to see that they're the top merch sellers right now in WWE.
It's refreshing to see, but it's not. I'm not shocked by it. In sports, at least as of late, man, and just in pop culture in general, the Latino community has been up. I mean, if you think about the World Baseball Classic and how beloved that Mexican baseball team was, and how good they were, and look at the UFC, how many now Mexican-born fighters have been coming up and are now champions, and it's been all over, like the flag football, the girls team. There's just plenty of different type of all over the sports world. Yeah. You see the Mexican or just Latino community. Look at Bad Bunny and how big he was in mainstream. Now this new artist coming up, Peso Pluma. So it's like it's not shocking that the LWO merchandise in WWE is one of the top merchandise sellers, because you have a lot of Hispanic and Latino communities watching the product.
Right.
With that being said, is WWE missing an opportunity here, not having a champion caliber Latino in WWE thriving right now? Because imagine if they did, someone like an Eddie Guerrero, You know what I mean? Obviously, Rey Mysterio is still big time, but he's not in that. You know, he's not going to want to win championships. He's not going to want them to
Right,
push him
right.
because
He's
he's
at,
all about getting the younger guys over.
right. He's at the tail end of his career, pretty
Exactly.
much.
So are they
Yeah.
missing an opportunity here not having that, especially when you're starting to see this merchandise selling?
Yeah, they are, but you know what? If there's anybody on that roster that I could see that who's Latino and who could be one of the top guys, a top like contender or even a champion, it's Damian Priest.
Yeah.
That's the only guy I see right now. He's also a big guy, you know. WWE loves their big guys, so he's a big dude, and you know he needs to work on his promos, but he does have a presence.
Yeah.
He does have a presence. He's a big dude, and he has a good look. So you know, I would want to push that, but he's not getting any younger either. He's not that young. So
Oh,
I
he
would,
really isn't.
you know, so I would want to push that
He's in
guy.
his late 30s, almost 40 already.
Yeah. So just like how I said with LA Knight the last time we spoke, man, these are guys that could be stars now. They could be top guys like right now in the moment. I mean, during this time.
Yeah, I agree. I think Damian Priest is definitely one of them. Dominic
Yeah.
Mysterio, man, the heat that he
Him too.
has.
He's the future, bro. He's the future.
The heat that you know what speaking of the LWO, I think WWE missed an opportunity not having him start the LWO. Maybe as a heel faction later on. I think he could have done his own. I'm not saying that he's not doing great with the Judgment Day. He's doing great. He's that mommy gimmick is everything. He's doing fantastic. But I feel like he could have been that Eddie Guerrero type presence in the LWO, someone who started it. You know what I mean? He kind of looks like him already. You know?
Yeah, I know. they're really playing up the storyline that he's Eddie's son, right? And he is. He really is. And you know, it's not too late. He could still do it. I mean, for all we know, even though they're on different shows, I don't think that means anything. I think they'll eventually cross paths again because of this draft thing. You know, they don't take it serious, but you know, it's not too late. You know, he could probably take that group away from his father and become the leader. You know, if he leaves the Judgment Day and turn it into a heel faction, you know, they could do anything they want with him. They really could.
Yeah. CB says Dominic for world heavyweight champion. I don't think he's ready for that, man.
No, I would go with Damian Priest for right now, and then but Dominic's the future for sure.
Yeah, 100%. It's also Santos Escobar is the guy we're talking about. He can't catch a break. Every week he's just getting buried, week in week out. That being said, Rick, any NXT call-ups that you were excited for? You had Grayson Waller, you had the women's champion India Hartwell, the tag team champions in Alba Fire and Nyla Dawn, I think.
Yeah.
And then you had Casey Constanza and I forgot her tag team partner's name. You had quite a few call-ups from NXT. Were you excited for any of them, or you kind of I don't know who these people are?
I'm kind of like, well, look, I am familiar with Indy Hartwell, so I am looking forward to see what she would do on the main roster. But everybody else, I'm like, you know, I don't really watch NXT. I'll be honest. I was hoping that maybe someone like Braun Breaker would come up. I don't think Carmelo Hayes. I don't think he's ready to come up yet, but he's a future star too. Those two guys right there. You know, I was almost expecting one of them to at least come up to the main roster this year, but that didn't happen. So when that happens, then I'll really pay attention. But I think Indy Hartwell right now for me, really interested in seeing.
I agree, and I am a huge fan of Indy Hartwell. I wanted her to be champion before she became champion, and I was so happy that she became one. I think she'd be great on the main roster. I'm also a huge fan of the tag team champions Nyla Dawn and Alba Fire. Both girls are great workers. They're great heels. They got the look. They could definitely talk on the mic. They're definitely something. They're two individuals that can help that women's division for sure. The other three girls that are coming up are workers. You know, they're more of those, you know, ones that you get over off of. You know what I mean? You beat in matches, but they're good workers.
Right.
They're
enhancement talent.
Yeah, exactly. Basically. Yeah.
Right.
Jonathan Palacio says King Canelo back this weekend. That's right. We'll talk about him next. He's back this weekend for sure.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned. Oh, so Grayson Waller was one that was added. Why they didn't announce his draft on air? I don't know. They did it afterwards on Raw Talk. He's a good talent. He's someone that's definitely gonna. I think can thrive if they utilize him the right way. Great on the mic, really good heel, loudmouth, arrogant type of wrestler.
Yeah.
I think he'd be great. He
He's
had
on
a feud.
SmackDown, right?
Yeah, he had a feud with Carmelo Hayes right before he left, who's NXT champion, and he's great. Now you brought up Braun Breaker. I think initially they wanted Braun Breaker to move up. The thing about Braun Breaker is at the tail end of his championship tenure there in NXT, he
Yeah.
started to get booed. They were tired of him. The crowd had fatigue. Now the NXT crowd is already so small. If you have that small building booing you out of the arena, and you're the champ, I think they're like, you know what? Before we bring this guy up, we got to turn him heel so that way that doesn't carry over into the main roster. Because
Right.
someone like Braun Breaker should be someone that should be debuted as a top guy, but he's not
Right.
gonna have he's not gonna have that type of I guess he's not gonna have that top guy feel if
Yeah.
he's already coming up and everybody's booing him.
Right.
That's
I
my
think
thing.
I think he's a better heel anyway. I think that dude if they were to bring him up, they need to bring him up as a heel. I think he has like a lot of the Steiner mannerisms, from his dad and from his uncle. I think he could be a top heel, before he eventually becomes a babyface. But I think that's the way to go with him when they
Yeah.
eventually do bring him up. Yeah.
No, I agree. Yeah, he's really good. I think he'd be great on the main roster. He deserves to be on there already. But I just think they saw that like, you know what? Hold on, we don't want this guy already, getting this type of recognition or lack thereof. If we're gonna bring him up, I think it was
Right.
smart. Gain that popularity back and then bring him up.
Wow, but that's gonna take a while though. That
Yeah.
will take a while. So, I mean, I think they still should have brought him up anyway. A heel Braun Breaker starting
Yep.
out. If you bring him on, but if you bring him on as a baby face, smiling, all cheesy and stuff like that, people get tired. They get sick of that real quick.
Yeah.
We've seen it with a lot of guys.
Yeah. I feel like with Cody Rhodes, it's only going to take him so far. But yeah, after a while, they're going to get tired of him too.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick before we end the wrestling segment, Ricky, Road Dogg came out and said WWE brought in a new writer for Bray Wyatt. He added, so we'll see how all of that unfolds down the road. Bray Wyatt has been missing right after Royal Rumble, right after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
We haven't seen or heard of Bray Wyatt. He was supposed to have a match with Bobby Lashley at WrestleMania, never came to fruition.
Right.
He's been out on mental health issues, and then they had no idea what they were going to do with him.
Yeah.
So supposedly they're getting ready for bringing him back. But are you excited for that? What do you think they need to do, or what's going to happen there?
Well, I mean, the fact that that Road Dogg said that they're bringing in a new writer for him, that basically confirms everything we suspected, which was it had to do with a creative issue, right?
Yeah.
It obviously was a creative issue, and he wasn't happy with it, and he left. Honestly, I'm not excited. I'm not. My expectations now are low when it comes to Bray Wyatt. I was initially excited when he came back. When Triple H brought him back, I was really excited. And then it got worse from there. His character, his direction, the storyline, it was just confusing as all hell for me.
Yeah.
So I'm not having any high expectations to see him back and what he's gonna do. I'm taking a more wait and see approach here. I do want to see him back, but whether he comes back or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter to me anymore. Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm right there with you. I'm just kind of like, okay, whatever. If you're bringing it back, great, but I'm not going to be excited as I was before because you guys don't know what you're doing with him. He doesn't know what he's doing with himself. So it's like we'll just wait and see more. Alexa Bliss is also supposed to come back. I don't know what's up with her. Both of them have been very questionable. So we'll see. We're moving into AEW really quickly before we get into Canelo. There's some couple of free agents, Ricky, coming up in 2024. I mean, we already know the big name MJF, now it's apparent that Will Ospreay, his contract for New Japan Pro Wrestling is up in February of 2024, and now it's been confirmed that Hangman Adam Page, his contract is up at the end of this year. Yeah. So if we're talking 2024, we're talking 3 just so far. There's supposed to be more, but those 3 are the big ones that are out there. We at least have 3 huge names that are going to be free agents for both.
I think the Elite too.
Yeah,
I believe the Elite as well.
And I
think
think Kenny
those
Omega
are
too. Yeah. Kenny Omega.
Kenny
you're
Omega and
right.
the Young Bucks.
This
Yeah,
is crazy. This is if you're AEW, you gotta be if you're Tony Khan and AEW, you gotta be worried a little bit. Because WWE has interest in every single guy we just named.
of course, of
You know,
course.
and they should. And they should.
You know,
With that being said,
for a number of different a number of reasons they're interested in these guys.
oh yeah, well yeah, 100%. With that being said, who do you think should be priority for both guys? Like which one is who's priority for AEW? Who's priority for WWE?
Mhm.
If you're WWE, who's number one priority that you want out of AEW or in your building?
I think MJF is, should, and will be the priority for both companies.
Okay.
All right. MJF, I think MJF is the biggest one out of all of them. And if I were Tony Khan, I would give this guy whatever the hell he wants to keep him. Because you got to know that Triple H, Vince McMahon, whoever, or Nick Khan, whoever, you know they want this guy. You know they're gonna want to bring this guy in. If you don't think they're paying attention to what he's doing in AEW, then you don't know anything. They're paying they're paying attention, or they have guys paying attention to what he's doing over here, and they see how great this guy is.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, MJF is definitely the priority here for both companies. And another big thing is the Elite. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. I know Triple H was interested in signing these guys. Kenny Omega, I think, was really high on that list too. I would put him at second, next to MJF. Yeah. And the most interesting thing about this too is that this is coming during this time when with the whole CM Punk drama and the whole CM Punk coming back and this
those are all the guys. Those are all the guys he has beef with.
Yeah, exactly. So, Hangman Adam Page, Page, the Elite. So yeah, Tony Khan is, he's gonna have his hands full here. He's gonna, in theory, he wants to keep everybody there. He wants to keep MJF. He wants to keep the Elite. He wants to keep Hangman Adam Page. So in the end, I do believe MJF is staying where he's gonna stay. In the end, I also believe the Elite is gonna stay. And Hangman Adam Page. Will Ospreay, that's difficult for me to. I don't think I don't know. I can't see him in WWE. Either he's gonna I can't see it. I could.
I just don't think he'd be. I just don't think he could. If they bring him in WWE, he has to get the Cody Rhodes treatment. He has to go on through NXT. I think become a champion there. Like build him up. So when you do put him on the main roster, he's one of your top guys. But he has to be a top guy. Otherwise, it's not going to work for him. He's going to be just another guy in the mist. Now, if he goes straight to AEW, he's a top guy because everybody there already knows what he can do.
Right.
You already have a fan base there in AEW that knows you're a top guy. If you're WWE, you got to build that because the casual fans aren't going to know who the hell you are.
Right. You know what? Actually, now that you mention it, I think out of all these people that are going to be available, he is the one that I can see it now. I can actually see that he would be the most likely to go to WWE if he decides to go there. More so than MJF, more so than the Elite, more so than Adam Page, Will Ospreay. So as far as where is he in the pecking order with Tony Khan? Of course he would want to keep this guy, but of course he would want to bring this guy in, but he has a lot to worry about with the guys he already has there. So we'll see where Ospreay actually ends up.
Well, if this second show becomes successful, like I think it will be, then it might be beneficial for Will Ospreay to go there. Like I said, he already has a fan base that knows who the hell he is, and he'll get TV time 1,000% on AEW. Yeah. Maybe he'll have to go through NXT. I feel like I don't think they'll just bring him in willy nilly in WWE on the main roster. He'll have to go through NXT. He would do great. But he's one of those guys where you can't just keep down in AEW. I mean, in NXT, he would have to debut fairly soon right after. In my opinion. Otherwise, I don't know how that's going to be a deal breaker for him.
I would not put him in NXT. I would shoot him up straight to the main roster, whether it's SmackDown or Raw.
Yeah, you could do that too. You can definitely do that too.
I would do that. And let's not forget Mercedes Moné.
Yeah,
her contract is up. I think she has at least one match left on her deal with New Japan Pro Wrestling. So where's she gonna go? I mean, I think it's obvious she's gonna go to AEW at some point. I don't
I
think
think
she's
so too.
just gonna
Because
go back to WWE at all.
if you look at Trinity Fatu, who was
Naomi.
Naomi on WWE, she went to Impact. She's an Impact wrestler. I'm surprised she didn't go to AEW herself, but she's an Impact wrestler now.
I'm surprised she didn't go back to WWE. I thought for sure she was going back.
That's weird. Yeah, she's definitely, and so that leads me to believe that Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, will not be returning to WWE. But if I'm her, I wouldn't go to Impact. I would go straight to AEW. I think that's the bigger brand for sure.
Yeah, I have a feeling she might somewhere around the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. I think that's when she'll make an appearance.
Okay.
Either representing New Japan or AEW. I have a feeling that she'll probably surface around that time.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be a good feel for her to get kind of used to the AEW brand, and who knows, maybe a match between her and Britt Baker. I would love to see it, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would love.
There's plenty of matchups there for her. So yeah,
plenty of matchups for her for sure. All right, that was the wrestling portion here on the main event, brought to you by Star 6 Media. You guys, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, you name it. We're at all those platforms. All right, Ricky, let's get into some boxing. King Canelo Alvarez will be fighting John Ryder this Saturday. What can you tell us about this fight? This is in the super middleweight division, or
yes.
So,
super middleweight division, 168 pounds.
168 pounds. This is Canelo's division. Why is he fighting John Ryder, Ricky? Is John Ryder a mandatory fight? Is he somebody that earned this fight, or is this just someone that Canelo picked to kind of a steamroll over, kind of like a pick'em fight, like a little tune-up fight before his real fight, which is September, which it will either be Viva or Benavidez. Right.
It's actually a bit of both.
Okay.
He is a mandatory for one of the belts that he is holding. I believe it's not the WBC belt. It's I think it might be in the WBO, one of the title belts that he holds in that division. So he is definitely a mandatory to face him, but it's also, let's just okay. Let me put it this way. All right, let me put it this way.
Yeah,
this is going to be Canelo's return fight. Okay, since his last fight with Triple G. All right, and it's also going to be it's also going to be his return back to Mexico. He has not fought in Mexico in many years. All right.
Okay.
So he's going to be in front of his home country, and basically what this is, it is basically a fan service fight. It's a tune-up fight. All right. Yeah. He's gonna fight in front of his country. And the way I see it is he's gonna win, and he's gonna send everybody home happy. That's just what it is. This is what this fight is. It's really what it is. And his fan, the Canelo fans are gonna love it. They're gonna tune in. They're gonna watch, and they're gonna celebrate.
Yeah, they're gonna glorify him, say he's the greatest to ever do it. Blah blah blah. Yada yada yada. Got it.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what this is.
It
is a bit of both.
Yeah, he's gonna get them drunk and excited. You know what I mean? I get it. It's an excuse it's an excuse for a party.
Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Everybody, they're all gonna tune in. They're gonna watch, and they're gonna have a great time.
Right.
So that's what this is. That's what. Well, I mean, what else can I say?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Do I actually think that John Ryder has a chance? No. He does not have a chance. No.
That was gonna be my next question. That was my next question.
I knew it was coming. I'll just get it out of the way right now. No, he doesn't have a chance. All right. The way I see it, Canelo's gonna dominate, and he's probably gonna finish him somewhere between the 8th and the 11th round, and that's it. He's gonna win. He's gonna retain his titles, and he's gonna move on.
Right. John says anytime he fights, it's a party because he's the Mexican GOAT.
Well, he is. He definitely is boxing's top star right now for sure, and he's been he's been there for a while.
So you say no chance whatsoever Ryder has against Canelo Alvarez. I agree. You're as a boxer, you always have a chance, but I don't know. Maybe if I want to play devil's advocate, Canelo is coming off an injury. He hasn't fought in this division since you said Triple G, and remember he's had a fight even after that with Dimitri Bivol,
which he got dominated.
Which he lost exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe this.
Not to mention, he's really focused on his golfing career. He's really working on that golfing swing. So we don't know how much there's a lot of people saying he's spending a lot more time playing golf than he is training. Could that be true or not? I guess we'll find out. So he's already looking past boxing.
Exactly. So maybe if there is a chance to get Canelo, if you're John Ryder, it's probably now. It's probably now. John says Canelo ain't losing in Mexico. We agree with you, John, but we just say I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. I'm trying to stir the pot a little bit. You know how I am. Tony Toxico for a reason, right? But yeah, I just saying, like, if there's a chance, he can. He said he's been training with Baby Creed too.
Okay.
Talking about Michael
B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, Baby Creed. But yeah, no, I mean, who knows, right? I agree with John. I don't think there's no way Canelo loses, but you never know. You have a shot. If John Ryder's a mandatory fight for that title, that's because he's earned his way up there to that title. Speaking of it, but
it's not like, but it's not like that means anything though. It's right, just exactly. Even though he's a man, we can talk about mandatories, but exactly at the end of the day, it's whoever Canelo wants to fight. So
you're right.
That's just what it is, man.
And I was just gonna go there. What's next for Canelo? If what we think is going to happen happens, and him winning against John Ryder. Mm-hmm. Speaking of mandatory, he has a mandatory fight in David Benavidez, and I don't know how many times you and I have to say it on this show. But that should be his next fight in September. Do you think that's the case, or do you think Dimitri Bivol is a lock to fight Canelo in September, whether it's in light heavyweight or super middleweight?
I don't think it's a lock because if you've been listening to what Canelo and his management have been saying, they want, or at least Canelo, he's been saying that he wants the rematch with Dimitri Bivol at 175 pounds. All right, even though he already went up there and he lost to the reigning champion there at 175 pounds. He says, I want a rematch. I want another shot at Dimitri Bivol at 175 pounds. Dimitri Bivol and his manager, for their part, they said, no way. We'll do the rematch, but we'll do it in your weight class at 168 pounds, basically saying that they're interested in winning titles more than they are making money. We'll see. I mean, but money talks, so we'll see what happens there. But they're pretty adamant that they want to face Canelo Alvarez at 168 pounds for his titles, and they might. And if they stick to their guns, I don't know. I don't see I see the fight happening a lot less likely now. If that's what's going to happen. If they're going to stick to that.
I get it. John in the comments says, so if it's a mandatory fight, how was it a tune-up? The reason, John, is because David Benavidez has been a mandatory fight for how long already? He was supposed to fight Canelo Alvarez a long time ago.
27-0. Yeah. 27-0. John Ryder is what? 20. I know he has 5 losses on his record. I think he's like 29-5, maybe. I got to double check, but I know he has 5 losses on his record.
Yes. Benavidez was supposed to be a mandatory fight for Canelo before he even fought Caleb Plant. That fight should have happened a long time ago, and it hasn't happened because Canelo picks his fights. He wants a Triple G. Get it. It's a third fight, but a much older fighter who we know he could beat, got him. He wanted to move up to Dimitri Bivol and not even worry about his weight class in super middleweight where Benavidez is. He would rather move up and fight somebody else. Got it. How does that not look like he's picking fights?
Right. He's apparently that's his intent. He wants to move in September. He wants to move back up to 175 pounds, fight Dimitri Bivol. And Dimitri Bivol says, no, we'll fight 168 pounds for your belts.
Right.
Which I don't think that's fair either because, there's someone there that deserves that shot before Bivol. But, I don't see that happening. Because Dimitri Bivol, I don't care whether it's at 175 pounds or 168 pounds. I think he's the better fighter, and I think he'll still beat him. So I don't think Canelo's management would want that. I don't think they want that. They definitely don't want to book that fight at 168 pounds. They rather go up and say, okay, well, Canelo tried. Oh, well, nothing lost there.
Right. And you could justify that. We've seen plenty of champions in different sports. We've seen it in UFC with Israel Adesanya. He was dominated the middleweight division, champion for a very long time, moves up to light heavyweight, and his first fight against that champion gets dominated back. Sometimes there's levels to this shit. You can't just move up. I get it, right? And there was no fault in Canelo moving up, and there was no shame in losing to a fighter that in that division is better than you. We get that. But you're the GOAT in your division. So stay in your division and defend your division, right?
Right.
And John said you got to pay respect to the fighters that earn a fight against Canelo. Yes, but that's why we're so keen on David Benavidez fighting Canelo, because where is his respect? He should have got a fight with Canelo a long time ago, and it's never happened because there's been so many excuses on Canelo's part the reason, he doesn't want to fight Mexican fighters, or he doesn't think he's ready, or blah blah blah. Or I want to move up, or I need to fight this guy first. Like it's been so many different excuses, and for a long time coming, and that's why I'm lose respect at Canelo. I'm a Mexican, but I'm not your typical Mexican that's going to be all over this guy because he's a great. If you're great, prove it to me. Prove it to me.
All right, so I'm looking at John Ryder's record: 32 wins, 5 losses. Right? Who's he fought? Who has he fought? Let's see if you guys know any of these names: Zach Parker, Daniel Jacobs, Joseph Jerko, Mike Guy, Callum Smith. I know who Callum Smith is, but he lost to Callum Smith. Yeah, Bilal Akawi.
I don't know. I don't know who any of these guys are.
I know who Callum Smith is, but that's Canelo. Canelo beat him as well, but John Ryder lost to Callum Smith. So I'm not sure where he earns his title shot over David Benavidez, who's 27-0, who just beat Caleb Plant. But you know,
but he gets
look,
it. So
if John Ryder gets this shot, if John Ryder gets this shot, then I think Benavidez deserves the next shot as well. That's just my opinion.
I agree, 100%. John also says that him going up to 175 is his ego talking. To be honest, which, yeah, it is. I agree with that. It is 100%. Because I love Canelo, but that loss proved he needs to stay in his lane, which is true. Like we said, there's levels to it. You can't just.
I love to hear it, John. I love to hear it, man. I know you're a true Canelo fan, but you're spitting facts there. Yeah, he does need to stay in his division. There's a plethora of contenders at 168 pounds. He needs to stay right in his home and defend his titles. His titles right there, and we can say John Ryder's one of them. But there's plenty of guys at 168. He does not need to move up to 175 pounds at all.
Yeah, there's plenty of guys he could fight. But the main one is David Benavidez. And look, I'm not saying he can't beat David Benavidez. I'm not saying he's scared of David Benavidez. I just think that
his management.
I just think whoever's, his management, whoever's running his stuff, like, you know what, maybe this isn't a fight you want to take right now. This is
their golden goose. They do not want to lose their meal ticket in Canelo Alvarez. So they're going to protect them as much as they can, but you can only do so much.
I think Benavidez being half Mexican and him being called the Mexican monster is the reason why they don't want to fight. They don't want Canelo to fight him because, again, if Benavidez does happen to beat him, if you're the Mexican fan base, who do you go to then? Are you still going to go to Canelo, or you always look at David Benavidez like, damn, maybe this guy's the guy we should be behind? You know what I mean? I think that's just what scares Canelo and his management team.
I think they'll still stick with Canelo. It's just like how with Julio Cesar Chavez and Oscar De La Hoya, they obviously chose Chavez. Chavez is one of the greatest of all time, but he was also from the motherland, and Oscar was born here. So
that's true.
They have different views on that right there. So that's how that would go.
Yeah. I'm trying to see what other question. I mean, you don't think Ryder has a chance? I don't either.
Anything can happen, though.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen in the fight game. But if you're a betting man, Canelo's going to win this fight. I would say probably by TKO in the 10th round. I would say 10th, 11th round.
1,000%. I do, John. I think it should be. I think 100% it should be. If Canelo wins, if that fight does happen and Canelo wins, I don't know. I don't think it'll happen. I think that Canelo's like, why should I fight this guy again? He came up and he lost. If Benavidez wins, then yes, I think you give Canelo that rematch because of who he is, because you know that there'll be money to it, and that happens, and there's a trilogy happen. But if David Benavidez moves up to Canelo and Canelo beats him at one time, then no, I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening. So yeah, in order for that to happen, David Benavidez definitely has to win the first fight if that fight ever happens.
Yep.
Or it could be close enough. It could be a close fight going to the judges, regardless of the winner. Actually, if it's a very close fight and even Canelo comes out on top, that's another scenario where there could be a rematch, kind of like how I went with Triple G in the first 2 fights.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Is Canelo fight still considered a big fight? I think so, right? 100%.
Oh yeah.
He's boxing top star.
He's still boxing's top star. I would put Tyson Fury at second. And then we got young guys coming up like Gervonta Davis, Benavidez. So if Ryan Garcia decides to continue boxing, he could be one of those guys too. So Canelo still, especially for Cinco de Mayo, especially for Mexican Independence Day, he always brings in the pay-per-view buys. He's still not just Mexico's, but boxing's top star right now.
Yeah, I agree. Johnson, I get for us to get a trilogy when Canelo is out of his prime, I think so too. I hope not, but because honestly, they can play it smart where they get 3 fights. The last one is kind of like passing the Mexican torch. They can definitely. Because recently I seen ESPN had Canelo ranked like number 6 or 7 for pound top fighters now. Where was he? Where was he before?
He was definitely not number 1. I think Tyson Fury's up there for top pound for pound. He's still undefeated. I'm pretty sure Tank Davis is up there as well. So Tyson Fury.
I'll look that up right now. Pound for pound boxing. Damn, 6 or 7. He was up there. No, I feel like he was. He said ESPN.
ESPN rankings.
There it is. Pound for pound boxing rankings. That's interesting. He said this was. He said no. Tank missed the top 10, and this was after the Ryan fight.
So yeah, then I think Tyson Fury's definitely up there. I think
they have.
He might even be number 1. Terrence Crawford. Oh yeah, I forgot about Terrence Crawford.
Well, then
he's undefeated.
Well, this was from last year though. This was from 2022. There has to be an updated one, or is that the only one they got?
And I don't know. I've been seeing that the fight between Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. is going to happen, or it's not going to happen. I don't think I've seen it confirmed yet, but I think they're working on it. If I wasn't mistaken.
DAZN. They have Canelo ranked 4th.
That's the zone.
Yep. The zone. Yeah, and they have Alexander Usyk number 1.
Alexander Usyk. Really?
They have Terrence Crawford 2. Naoya Inoue 3, Canelo Alvarez 4, Bivol 5, Earl Spence Jr. 6, Stephen Fulter 7, Devin Haney at 8. Devin Haney is a beast, by the way. I want to see a fight between him and Tank Davis. Shakur Stevenson 9, and Jamar Charlo is 10. There's no way.
Dude hasn't fought in like almost 3 years now. Man.
Exactly, there's no way, and that was updated 8 days ago. There has to be a new one. Let me see. This is Sports Illustrated. I think I trust Sports Illustrated to be less biased in the zone. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
That's just me. I think there's some biasness there for the zone. You know what I mean? I don't know why. I just kind of feel it. Terrence Crawford. They have Terrence Crawford number 1, which makes sense. That makes sense. He's undefeated, 39-0.
Yeah.
Last fight was a month ago. They have
Alexander Usyk. And this is the ESPN. It was John talking about the ESPN pound for pound rankings?
Yeah, but the only one I seen was from 2022. So you got to make sure that's not an older one.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at the 2022 one.
That's what I'm saying. So Terrence Crawford number 1. This is Sports Illustrated. This is recent. This is this year. Yeah. Alexander Usyk 2. They have Canelo 3, which makes sense to me too. They have Naoya Inoue number 4. Inoue. Earl Spence Jr. 5. Tyson Fury 6. I was gonna say, where's Tyson Fury? Dimitri Bivol 7. Shakur Stevenson 8. Jamar Charlo's 9. What?
Or Arthur Bitterbeef too. I just saw Arthur Bitterbeef.
And also Devin Haney is 10. What is?
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
This is boxing, bro.
This is boxing. There's so many different lists. Like this is basically based off opinion here.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I mean, I can agree with the Terrence Crawford. You could debate him being at number 1. But I agree with it. Jamar Charlo. The fact that he's even still in the top 10. I don't know about that.
Well, here's an updated version of it. I read the January one. Here's one that they did back in March. They actually have Charlo out of the top 10 finally. They have Devin Haney moved up to 9. That's where they had Charlo, and they now have David Benavidez at 10. So they took Charlo off the list and put Benavidez. That makes more sense.
That makes sense. That's good.
Everything else was the same.
As
Yeah.
far as I mentioned, everything else is the same. They just moved up Devin Haney to 9, who was 10 on that list, and they put David Benavidez to 10, and Chamorro's out.
Yeah. There we
National
go.
Sports Administrators.
So
That
with
makes
David Haney and Vasily Lomachenko, whenever that fight happens, that should be a
Yes.
good fight. And then,
Be a good fight.
you know, the theory would be, you know, the winner should fight Gervonta Tank Davis after that. So
Yeah.
we'll see how
I
that
agree.
goes. And hopefully the Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been seeing that the fight's been said that they're gonna do. I haven't seen any confirmation. I don't know if you have, but I'm waiting for that fight to be confirmed and to happen. Terrence Crawford and Spence Jr.
That should be a good fight. I haven't seen
Yeah.
anything like I haven't heard from it yet, but yeah, if that happens for sure.
Yeah, I just see a lot of talk, but no confirmation that the fight's set.
All right.
Well, there you go, Ricky. We have Canelo winning this Saturday. But you know what? He has competition. And so does the boxing because UFC 288 is this Saturday. Aljamain Sterling,
Henry Cejudo. This is a fight that you and I were excited with as soon as it happened.
Mhm.
As soon as it was announced, Aljamain Sterling was somebody who we both didn't think
deserved to be champion, at least not right away, but then he definitely earned his spot, definitely earned that belt, in my opinion.
Yeah,
That
I agree.
And now he has Henry Cejudo,
who was the bantamweight champion for a very long time, who was
Yeah.
a dominant champion, who retired and gave up the belt. He never lost. He
He was
retired.
he was a double champ.
He was a double champ. Exactly. He gave up the belts and he left UFC. Now wants to come back.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of shit talking back and forth between him and Sterling. Do you think, Ricky, Henry Cejudo comes back and just reclaims his championship, or do you think Aljamain Sterling has a stranglehold on this division?
I don't think it's going to be as easy as Cejudo may think it's going to be, because I think Aljamain Sterling has probably one of the weirdest title reigns that I've seen, in a long time.
Yeah.
With the way that he won it the first time, but then coming back and then actually beating Petr Yan earned and then the fight with TJ Dillashaw. So he definitely has earned his spot as a champion. And I think he's gotten better ever since that disqualification win for him. I think he's gotten way better. And I think he's gotten more focused. I think he's gotten more dedicated. And the way I see it is that I don't see Cejudo reclaiming his crown here. I think I got Sterling winning this fight.
I'm surprised. You know what? I guess I can't really be surprised. I think I agree with you. I think Sterling has just been in it. Look, we know Cejudo left, but we know he wasn't really fully gone. He was still training. He was still in the mist. He trained what's the guy who faced Brandon Moreno?
The Davison Figueiredo.
yes, Figueiredo.
Yeah.
He trained Figueiredo in one of those fights. So he's still been in the mist. He's still been in the wing.
Right.
It's not like he just went away from MMA in general. But training somebody and training in general is different than actual being in the octagon and actually fighting. You know what I mean?
It is.
If there's any advantage that Cejudo has, is that the Aljamain Sterling has to look at tape from years ago, from when Cejudo retired, before he retired. There's nothing recent that he can look at that tells him, okay, this is what he's gonna do. This is what I need to game plan for. Because Cejudo could have a whole new bag of tricks and nobody even know.
Right.
That's the advantage that Henry Cejudo has, and we know how smart this guy is, how methodical he is. He could beat you in many different ways. He was dominant for a reason.
He was.
So that's
but
why I
want to. But with that said, though, I mean, he has been away for a while.
Yeah.
Is there going to be ring rust?
Right.
Are we still going to see the old Henry Cejudo? That's what I question right now. That's why That's why right now I'm sticking with Sterling, because I think he's gotten way better and he's proven himself.
Yep.
Who knows if this time away, even though he has been training, it's different when you get into the octagon. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yep.
I got a lot of questions, and we're gonna see the answers this weekend. What does Cejudo have left? Is he still the same guy? Is he or are we gonna see a shell of his former self, or is Sterling just too good now? Does he have a stranglehold on this division, like you said? We're gonna see.
he's confident, man, and he has a momentum. I'm talking about Aljamain Sterling.
Yeah.
He definitely has really opened my eyes. He deserves that title. He deserves this division. You know, and it's funny because the way he won the title was just very it wasn't
Yeah.
very anticlimactic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't
It's like, yeah, like I
nothing
said, one of the
exciting
weird
about it.
one of the weirdest title reigns that I've seen. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, 1000%. But like I said, his last couple fights, he's proven that he deserves it. Now, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? He's proven that, hey, like, no, this is 1000% earned and very much deserved. So I agree. I want to lean more towards Aljamain Sterling because of momentum alone. But man, I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if Cejudo just comes in and just there will be a rematch. There will definitely be a rematch, but I wouldn't be shocked if Cejudo comes in and reclaims what he's had.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked either, honestly, but it all depends on what he has, if he still got it. He's not
Yeah.
he's not old, but he has been away for a while, and
Yeah,
ring rust is a real thing for some guys, I mean, unless you're John Jones, but
yeah.
but ring rust is a real thing. We'll see.
Right, unless you're John Jones.
Unless you're right.
Exactly. Unless you're John Jones, then you can do whatever you want.
Right.
John said that he's seen the list on First Take. So this is a recent list. I'll look for the list. I'll post it, and then we'll talk about it next week for sure. I think it'd be a good topic to talk about ESPN's top 10 boxing boxers.
Yeah,
I think
Since we're gonna review the fight between Canelo and Ryder, that'd be good.
That'd be really good. So shout out to John for that. We'll definitely we'll look it up. Next week we'll go through it for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Rick, this will be a good fight regardless of the fact this should be a really good fight. Really good fight.
Yeah.
So who do you got? So you got Sterling? That's your pick?
I got Sterling by decision.
By decision. Yeah, I think if Sterling wins, he might. No, I don't know. Cejudo's pretty good on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it will go to decision. I too will pick Sterling. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Aljamain Sterling decision. If Cejudo wins, how long do you think he sticks around? You think until his title reign is over, or do you think he's in here for the long haul?
I don't know about the long haul, but I think he'll be if he wins. I can see him defend that title maybe another 2 or 3 times before he gets like, okay, well, I'm done now for sure. I'm the best. Blah blah blah, and then he
can say it. He can say it if he does.
He can say it. Yeah.
I
mean, he's been saying that all this time ever since he's been retired. Like, oh, wait till I come back. Blah blah blah. He's been hyping up his return for a long time, and now he's finally here. So
yeah,
let's see what happens, man. Let's see if he's still the same guy.
And now on the flip side, if he loses, does he retire right then and there? Does he go back to retirement, or you think he still fights? Maybe go down back to or go to the other division, or what do you think happens?
The flyweight, I don't know about flyweight, but if he loses, I think he'll stick around for a little bit too. I don't think he's gonna go anywhere anytime soon. So if he loses, and especially if it's a close fight, I can see a rematch happening, and he's gonna want to reclaim it. He's gonna go back to the drawing board and refocus and try to get that back. But yeah, I think he's in here. I think he's here for a little bit. He's here for what do you say? He's here for a good time, maybe not a long time, but he's here for a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Ricky, the co-main event of this fight was supposed to be Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush, and due to injury, that's not happening. So instead, we're getting Gilbert.
At least not this weekend.
Not this weekend. Not this weekend.
Right.
That's right. So we're getting Gilbert Burns versus Bilal Muhammad. Muhammad's 22-3. Burns 22-5. This is in a welterweight division. This should still be a good fight.
Gilbert Burns coming in the clutch.
Yeah, right? coming in the clutch, and so soon after his other fight. Does that shock you at all?
With Jorge Masvidal? No, man. No, it doesn't. This guy's fighters fight, and Gilbert Burns is a fighter. A fighter through and through. So obviously, when he heard that this fight was the co-main event was pulled out, he was already blowing up Dana White's phone. I want to be in the co-main event. I want to be.
Back to back co-main event. Look at him.
Yeah, I want to fight. So and against Bilal Muhammad, remember the name Muhammad. They finally remembered his name. and they put him there, man, because this guy has been on a winning streak himself, and he hasn't gotten a title shot yet. So they finally remembered the name, and he's here. And this is pretty much a title eliminator right here. Title fight eliminator. So whoever wins this fight is definitely going to get the next crack. Whoever wins between Leon Edwards and Colby Covington, even though I believe these guys deserve it more than Colby Covington, but you know, Dana White's going to do what he's going to do. He's going to do whatever he's going to do, and it is what it is. So
I can name at least 3 guys that needs it before Covington, but whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever. You know, it's going to happen. You know, whether we like it or not. So here you go. This is what Gilbert Burns wanted, man, and he deserves the spot. And we'll see if he can actually. I think I got him. Yeah, I got him by decision. I got Gilbert Burns winning by decision in this one.
There you go. All right, sounds good.
Bilal Muhammad is still. He also has power in his hands. He's also good on the ground with jiu-jitsu. But Gilbert Burns, I think he has that explosiveness working for him, and I think he's gotten a lot more better on the ground as well with his wrestling. And I think he's a better jiu-jitsu fighter. So I got Burns all the way.
I do too. I got Burns. I think he's on a streak. He's on a hot streak. He definitely has the momentum going in here. And if he's the one who initiated this fight, he wanted to go in. But all right, give me this. You got to respect that. So 1,000%, I think Gilbert Burns wins this fight for sure, and gets the next title shot in the welterweight division.
And it saved this pay-per-view because when the Oliveira Beneil Dariush dropped that fight, when that was pulled, you know, you had a lot of fans on social media just complaining like, oh, well, this pay-per-view ain't worth buying, you know, it's just one main event and blah blah blah, you know. I guess the co-main event, I think it was Jessica Andrade was gonna be the co-main event, and we're like, nah, you know? But Dana White, you know, he found a way to work it out.
She fights Jan. I can't even say that girl's last name. Jan Shazainen. Jan. I can't say.
But Andrade does fight.
Yeah, there you go.
Who do you got? Who do you got in that one? Andrade, she's 24-10. Jan is 16-3-0. One no contest.
I mean, I'm favoring Jessica Andrade. I think she's also on a hot streak right now.
Yeah.
I think I think she wins.
I do too.
All right, UFC 288, man. That's exactly what we're gonna be watching on Saturday. Next week on Tuesday, we will review the Canelo Ryder fight. We will review UFC 288. So there'll be more to talk about these two. We'll get into the ESPN's top 10 pound for pound boxing list. We'll talk more wrestling, you know, because now you know what else is this Saturday?
What is?
Backlash.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh shit! We did not review Backlash. I forgot all about Backlash.
We did not review Backlash.
Holy shit!
Who do you got between Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes?
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, I forgot all about Backlash. Damn, how did I forget about Backlash?
No,
I got Cody.
Are you sure?
I think this move is to put Cody over, get him ready to be in that title picture.
Backlash is this Saturday.
Yeah. So we're winning here. If you're a fan of the main event, we are winning here. We get 3. Next Tuesday should be a fun show because we're gonna review Backlash. We're gonna review Canelo versus Ryder, and we're gonna review UFC 288. Definitely a huge show. You don't want to miss it. Me and my brother will be back for sure.
Brock Lesnar by squash.
Next one, no, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's happening one bit.
If that happens, boy, man, I will really question Cody Rhodes' decision to come back to WWE if that happens.
I agree because then it looks different. It looked like they were all there taking care of Cody Rhodes coming from AEW. No, then it looks like they're legit burying him and whatever that company means. If that happens, that's how you know Vince McMahon's is back in charge, 100%.
Wow.
Bad for business, I think. But we'll talk. Well, let's talk about it when if it does happen on Saturday. So we have a lot to talk about next Tuesday. That should be a fun show.
It'll be a huge review show of all 3 sports.
Of all 3 sports.
All 3 sports.
All 3 sports. Yeah. I just thought about it. Wait, back this Saturday. Fuck.
There you go. There's your little mini Backlash preview right there.
Yeah, there you go. And that's pretty much the only match that's worth noting.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have Bad Bunny beat Damian Priest, and if they do, that's another thing I will be.
You know what I like? You know what I like too? You know how this whole Endeavor deal with the UFC and WWE?
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna start you know, their own company representing both. You know, there's also talks that they should also add boxing to the mix
I
for
would
that
do.
deal.
That'd be great.
Look at that. Look at that. And look at our show, right? That's what we talk about. We talk about
That's
all
what we
three.
talk about. Endeavor, sponsor us, man. Get us on a podcast or something. Like, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to Endeavor. I'm gonna email them. I'm gonna slide in their DMs. Hey, whoever's in charge, whoever this may concern,
Yeah.
you have your show right here.
Right here. We
Right
talk
here.
about all three. We talk about the three sports. You talk about two of them. Get boxing in the mix. You know, I think Mike Tyson has talked about it. They should add boxing to it. I agree. It should
I agree.
definitely be a part of it. I'm definitely gonna buy some stock in that company when it does go public.
There you
I look
go.
forward to it. I look forward to it. But there you go, man.
All right.
But good things
There
to
you
come.
go. Good things to come for sure. All right, Ricky, before we go, anything you want to say before we are out of here?
Thanks to everybody for tuning in, commenting. We love doing this. We hope you guys enjoy it, and we'll see you guys next week. We'll have a big review show of all three: UFC 288, Canelo versus Ryder, and WWE Backlash. We'll review it next week, man. We'll be here.
Yep. Huge show next Tuesday. You don't want to miss it. For Enrique Contreras, I'm Jose Contreras. I'm out of here. I gotta go do a show. All right, but you guys have a good one, and we will be back next Tuesday. You guys have a good one.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man